Good morning to everyone. Am I audible online? Am I audible to online? Please confirm once. And are you able to see my screen?
Hello, good morning. Yeah, we are able to see your screen and you're audible.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Fine. Today, like as we have said, like it's going to be 7 or 7:10. We are going to start. So almost it's 7:10. So right now we gather here to make an understanding what is the course and what exactly we are going to learn, and what is my career into this field. Is it going to be suitable to me or not? We need to understand very well about this, and how the workflow of the program, what are the skills I'm going to learn in this program. So these are the things like we are going to do this right now. So a warm welcome to the towards journey of cloud and DevOps engineer. The course is completely designed to make you a kind of cloud and DevOps engineer, a kind of domain into IT industry. Let's understand what is cloud and DevOps engineer. But before jumping to the subject, I would like to have a brief introduction. Then we'll start. Fine. Like we'll start with this. Hi. Like here, I am Akbar Mohammed here. I'm the trainer, having an experience. Alhamdulillah, like 14 plus years experience into IT industry. I work with various kind of industries like TCS, Virtusa and other companies. And I have having like basically being a passion towards the trainings. It's not my training profession after my job. I initially started my career with the training. Then I jumped into training. So let me introduce like initially what I did. Like basically I was a programmer into .NET and Oracle. When I started my career with the programming, I was not into this IT administration and management part. I was into programming, .NET and as well as the Oracle database. Later, like here, after a few kind of months, I can say, not year, few months, 6 to 7 months, I switched to my domain into IT administration part. There are two domains in the IT industry. You can choose either coding or non-coding job. So I initially started with coding, but later I switched my career to IT administration, non-coding. But still I love coding, but I do not prefer coding as a professional. As a passion I can keep. Because what I do is like here, why I change this kind of domain? Because I believe in health is wealth. So that's why what I seen with my seniors and other peoples at the time of learning, so I got an idea that it's going to be a kind of health problem more into coding. When you go for an 8-hour job and you go for 6 hours average, and you do sit in a job and you will have a lot of stress, mental stress. And even like here in a coding, you'll find a lot of health issues when you sit in a one position and for a long time. So it's going to be a lot of problem. So on the basis of suggestion, but everyone have their own choice, individual. But what I have chosen that my domain as an IT domain and as a management and administration part. But according to my experience, according to my real-time kind of you can say understanding, so I choose an administration because it's going to be a good salary and the position also good, and you enjoy this field because it's having less stress. Administration management. So mostly like here I just jump into like switch into this IT administration because of this reason. But I love still programming. I do PHP. I do some kind of different programming language. because it's needed in every job. You need at least having a basic idea of the programming. You should have that. And our course also included in this. So we'll see that what is the course workflow. But when I start this kind of thing and then I want to be a kind of entrepreneur, that means I don't want to go for a job, I want to go for a business. Initially, I started my career as a business, though I don't want to go for a job. But in IT, like what I have taken decision, it was wrong. I did a business initially, but because of an up and downs of business, so I need to take a kind of job. I need to jump into the job domain, employee kind of thing. So what I want to say that if you want to do a business, you have to do a job. Then you can learn a lot of disciplines. You can learn a lot of pipelines, how to work with a team, how exactly the technology is going, what is the demand in the worldwide, globally. You can understand very closely. But what I did a mistake earlier, it was basically I started with a business, ID business. But I was not aware about that kind of more into this ID business, but because I love, I jump. But it's not that. You have to be very strategic and you have to take a decision in a systematic way. So when I started my job, I found that, there are a lot of support, a lot of teamwork, and you'll find a lot of technologies. You'll get a lot of motivation or encouragement into this learning process. So I started in a job, an administration part, Linux and Windows, networking part and security. There I got opportunity to learn cloud computing also. Before that cloud computing, we were doing virtualization on a Citrix and VMware technology. Then I got an opportunity from my team, like here, my company, who pushed me into this cloud. And I was not aware about the cloud technology. We were just doing initially. So at the time of, I can say, in 2010 or something around. So I got an opportunity to work on cloud. But I started the cloud as in Azure because my company got the project on Azure, Microsoft Azure. So when I realized that, cloud is doing very wonderful job, because earlier what we used to do, a lot of physical work, networking, security, or management, administration part, we have to do a lot of physical kind of work. But now administration become on virtualized. Everything on click, and you just do some kind of automation, that's fine. You'll be relaxed. So cloud computing makes my job very easy, what I understood from my first job in a cloud. And I got a lot of training internally on the cloud because the project is going on and they want to hire me and they want to they want to attach me on a project. So definitely company will support you. Definitely company gives you vouchers, certification, training, internal trainings. They encourage you to learn. So I was basically like in a very good in technical way. That's why they push into my domain in cloud. From there, I started with Azure, but later, as like I can say, I worked on Azure 1 year or something, 1.5 years on Azure, migration projects and different kind of strategy we did. But later what I found, a lot of clients are demanding on Amazon. So service-based company definitely go with according to the requirement of the customers, how they require, what exactly they want to do, what project we need to implement. So which suits, whether Google platform, whether Azure platform, whether Amazon platform. So most of the time, like here, we implement on Amazon and AWS. So I realized with comparison with what Azure and AWS also. So I found that Amazon is making a very simple consoles. That means the workflow of everything what we need to do, very simplest way, and the smooth kind of operation can be done with the AWS services. And we found like today also like Amazon is number one position in market as a best cloud provider. We'll discuss more on Amazon. So from there, like here, I into this cloud technology, and we have learned different kind of, because it's not easy to go with cloud technology only with one tool. You are not going to be a specialist. When you jump into cloud or DevOps engineer, you are not going to be a specialist, you are going to be generalist. That means you have to learn multiple tools, not one tool. You have to learn multiple to achieve and this kind of position. So what I did this like here in this Azure and AWS and as well as Kubernetes. So we work more on projects, different kind of project, mostly like international projects we do. And now I'm right now with you with the experience what I have, and still I say like I'm a learner. I'm not an expert. Definitely, you have to learn lifetime, new skills, new upgrade. But whenever you say in IT, mostly people have a negative thought that if I learn something tomorrow, new version or new something comes. It's a wrong perspective, because when you learn, when you jump into a specific domain and you got new version, new upgradation, it's going to be only you have to push up yourself for 20%, 30%. It's not, again, you have to learn new things. And it's going to be very easy when you are into that particular domain. So that's basically what I want to say that about my brief. So right now I'm working with a company, and I can make a training only morning or evening classes, and what we have decided to make up what 7 a.m. to 8 or 8 to 9. That's my slots. So that's basically my kind of like brief on the subject. So before going to the technical, what is AWS, what is DevOps, what I have to learn, I'm not going to be journalist. I'm going to be journalist. I'm not going to be specialist in this domain. People need generalist people. They do not want specialists. Right now, the market trend is basically they want one tree, multiple fruits. They don't want a specialist, only one person to have a specific thing. So mostly a cloud and DevOps engineer, you have to be a generalist. You cannot be a specialist to achieve your job in a cloud and DevOps. The market demands in this way. We'll learn how to achieve this, because our course is completely designed on a JD based job description. So before going to the technical point, what we are going to learn, how we are going to learn, what our responsibility and roles into this kind of domain. So we'll see that. But before that, I want to have some kind of brief from your side so I can understand your stand right now in the market. So online, can I have a brief about, I hope like here I got, okay, I'm seeing here Nazahat here, I'm seeing Nishat Kausar. Can I have a brief please? Nishat, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can I have a brief about yourself? Brief, just what you are doing exactly. You have experience or a fresher? I need to know that.
Alright. I'm Nadia. I'm Nishat Kausar, and I'm from Gadkesa. I'm holding 3 years of experience from finance. So I'm very new to IT. So now I'm working as a healthcare recruiter in US.
Fine. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you very much. So I can understand. I can start according to the audience, according to their profile. Thank you very much. So have you been anything in IT, Nisha, and any programming or tools? Have you learned anything before?
No.
Okay, it's the first time you're learning into IT, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I got Nazahat. Can I have a brief about yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I'm Nazahat Mayuddin. I've done BTech in 2020. I'm a cloud practitioner. I am a certified cloud practitioner.
So you have like knowledge about at least AWS and a basic foundation, right?
Yes, sir, yes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. You did your BTech and which year pass out?
2020.
2020. That's wonderful. No problem. But you have not done any job, right, till now?
Yes, yes, sir.
No job experience.
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for a brief. And I got Venkatasai, Kothori Venkatasai. Can I have a brief, please? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, network. Yes.
I'm not hearing Venkat. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please be louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I have done my BTech in 2024 and I have been maintaining from the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So currently working as an operational analyst.
Mm-hmm.
So all done is well and for units, the goods, the operation working for 10 months and then over the years and do further.
Fine. Fine, Venkat. Thank you. Thank you very much for your brief. Welcome. And have like Mr. Ali, Sayyid Ali, right? So can I have a brief from Sayyid Ali, please?
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Sayyid Ali and my background is from IT. I have a couple of years of experience. My qualification is BCA and I would like to learn a new technologies because of new trending in the market. So that's my intention.
Oh, thank you very much. Welcome. Definitely, we'll go with that. Thank you very much. Anzar, like, can I have a brief, please?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Anzar.
I recently did my BTech. I am a fresher. I did not have any experience. I am expected to learn new things.
Oh, welcome, Anzar. Thank you. And I have Aisha Almas here.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Aisha Almas. I have completed my BTech in computer science from Shada Women's College of Engineering and Technology. And I am practitioner, AWS practitioner certified.
Okay. So you have a knowledge about cloud computing, web foundation, right?
Yes.
Have you been any job till now?
Not yet.
Okay. Fine. Thank you very much. So some are like basically kind of mixed people here. Some are basically having an experience, and most of the people like having a fresher here, and few guys experienced but non-IT. Only I found 2 people here with experience, but new to this technology. Definitely will be balanced into that. We'll start from the scratch. We'll start with the basics things, essential kind of thing. Definitely we'll go. Can I have a brief from your side, please?
I don't have experience in IT. I'm just fresher.
Okay. You done any kind of job earlier?
No, I don't.
No job. Okay, fine. Thank you.
My name is Akbar Mohammed and I'm holding 3 years of experience of process associate. And this cloud is new for me. I don't have any experience in it.
Well, yes, Mr. Kashif.
My name is Syed Rashid. I have just completed my BTech in civil engineering. I am a fresher now.
Oh,
And I want to learn new things and career in IT.
thank you. Thank you very much. Fine. We got like here online and offline. It's a kind of hybrid mode. We parallelly go with offline and offline students here. So thank you for joining on time. Now, what we need to understand here, we need to understand how the program goes. What exactly we are going to learn in this. As I said initially, the very important point is what today's we have to learn the programs according to the JD of a market. What is JD? Job description. When you're searching for a job, and when you get a job kind of link, and when you click on the link, you'll find a requirement place. We are looking for a DevOps engineer, we are looking for a cloud and AWS engineer. So we are looking for skills. These are the skills we are looking into this particular DevOps engineer. So it's not only they are talking about one skill, because as I said, we are not going to be specialists. We are going to be work like a what? Generalist. You have to learn multiple tools. So on the JD base, most of the JDs of AWS and DevOps, why we are learning two programs. The first question is what? Why we are learning AWS and DevOps. So AWS and DevOps, why we are learning? So basically we need to understand Amazon Web Services is a kind of Amazon provider which is on cloud computing technology. Cloud computing technology. So let's see what. Understand about what? As I found that a lot of people are very new to this technology. So before going to the workflow of the syllabus and the curriculum, what we are going to learn, I'll give something on what is cloud computing first. Because our domain is what? Cloud computing. We gather here to learn cloud computing technology, which is provided by a lot of providers. Exactly here I can say this technology provided by a lot of companies. So I can make it at least three best leading providers right now in market. So what are they? Amazon is going to be number one position right now in the market as a best provider for the cloud computing, which is known as what? Amazon Web Services. And you have what? You got Microsoft. And we got what? They are calling as Azure. As a platform name is what? Azure. And we got Google. They are calling us what? GCP. Google Cloud Platform. So now these three basically a leading provider for the cloud computing. But what is cloud? What is cloud computing? When you say just define into a very simple word, it's going to be what? The technical word what they are using cloud and is basically referred to what? Internet. In a technical IT domain, whenever you see any kind of diagram, you see here you see a diagram, and the diagram says about this kind of presentation. That means two computers are connected to a cloud. So that means they are communicating through internet. The cloud, whenever you see the diagram in a technical world, and whenever they use the word cloud, it's not basically our general word. It's basically what? Technical word is internet, the communication media. So what exactly cloud is what? Internet. So when I say computing, let's understand. So whenever you do anything on your computing devices, mobile, laptop, desktop, whatever you open, close, or you do something, you're doing what? Computing. So you got understanding cloud computing. So why they have given this name, let's understand, dive into that. So earlier, basically I can say that to understand the cloud computing, you have to understand what? A basic history before cloud computing. Before cloud computing. So to understand the current technology, we need to understand whenever you find a new technology, the technology evolves, the technology research because of what? There was a problem. There was a problem in IT industry. That means if you are talking about IT development, IT technologies, so that's why they improve and they come up with the new ideas, new technologies to you to make very easy for you. So we need to understand what were the problems we were facing into IT industry earlier before cloud computing, and how the cloud computing solved a lot of issues of IT industry. So now let's understand any company, example in IT industry, if any company want to start, they need to build their infrastructure. That means they need to provide the facility to the employees. They need to have a facility to deploy or to release or to you can say, to release your products or software product in a market from your own premises. That means you want to run application and you want to give access to a lot of people, a public. So now, take example of software development company. You say here, I'm starting a software development company, a small company. I want to start. So earlier, if you want to start any company, you have to own your infrastructure. You have to purchase software, you have to purchase hardware, you have to purchase network, whatever the hardware and software you require to run your company, you need to purchase, you need to own it. And to own, you have to invest a lot of money. That means you can say capital expenses and operation expenses. You have to understand this terminology, the financial terminology. This is financial terminology, basically capital expenses and operation expenses and ROI. This all businessman works with these three terminology: operation, capital and ROI. So let's understand here what exactly basically capital expenses. Whatever you own it. If you want to start a software industry or software company, start a small company, you need to hire what? Employees, testing engineer, developers you need to hire, and you need to give some laptops to them to start working. And it's not only hardware, you have to give software also. You need SAP application, you need Oracle application, you need some kind of Java application, you need some kind of other tools, Python. You have to give the facility to all employees what they have to do, the tools. So software is not free. Every software is not free. You have to go for licensing. Some few softwares are open source and free softwares, you can go ahead. But it's not every software is free. You have to pay. And every year you have to renewal also. You have to renewal. So now whenever you're just taking Oracle or MS Office or operating system, Windows, you have to pay and you have to take. So when you're going for this software, SAP application or any kind of paid application for your implementation, and you want to develop a kind of a program, you're developing the software for the clients. So to develop that, you need programming language, you need database, you need infrastructure to build internally. A developer and testing engineer should able to work on your infrastructure. You need to provide the facility. So to provide the facility, all this, they required servers, they required some networking devices, they required some this kind of storage devices. You can see server plus storage plus network. The company has to purchase servers to run their application, to test their application on the servers internally, or if they want to make available this application which is developed by your company, they want to release in a market. They want to give access to the people, public, so they can start their business. Now, to make this all facility internally, you should have a dedicated servers, dedicated storage and networking and security devices. So to purchase this and to prepare and to build this infrastructure in your company, so it's going to be very costly. The capital cost is going to be very costly here. So I can say if you are initially investing 50 lakhs for only making an infrastructure, and every year you have to do renewals, software renewals. It's not one-time payment. If you say a small software, MS Office, which is very important from the basic job to the big position, a project engineers or any kind of managers, they require what? MS Office. Even you need to pay for the licensing for that. Every year you have to renewal. So the operation expenses to maintain this infrastructure, you require what? Air condition. You need what? Inverters. As I said, to start a small company, you need to have a lot of devices and softwares you require. So to establish, you have to spend a lot of money on that, and even to maintain it, you have to have air condition, because your infrastructure, whenever you're having a servers, you need to go with what? Air conditions compulsory. Because whenever the servers or computers start, it emulate, like it's going to be what? It's going to emit carbon dioxide, and it's going to generate a lot of heat. So that's why air condition is very recommended and compulsory for every infrastructure. Inverters, because you are dependent on all laptop and desktop or servers, whatever you are doing. If the power supply off or something, you don't want to stop your business. You want the business should continue without any kind of interruption. So definitely you need secondary power supply, a backup power supply. So you have to invest, you have to maintain a lot of things into this small company. Also you have to invest a lot of money. And operation expenses, that definitely affects on what? Whenever you have an operation expenses more, definitely it reduces what? ROI. The ROI stand for what? Return off. I'm having a finance domain kind of person here. ROI. Am I audible? I found that someone says that you are into finance domain. I think like it's going to be Nishat, right? Nishat Kausar. So what I want to say that, what is ROI? Return of investment. That means whatever I invest, I need return, the profit. So whenever your operation expenses are more, definitely your expenses more means your profit will get less. So earlier the problem in an IT industry is because of this only. Capital expenses and operation expenses. And because of this, the business is not doing well. So definitely, if an investor want to invest money, so they are checking only what? They check only about ROI. What is my return of investment? If the profit is good, they'll run the business or they'll close. But IT industry is basically, it is indirectly connected to the economy of the country. If any country is having an IT industries, they are definitely developed countries, and definitely they develop more, and they'll get a lot of revenue generation. So earlier it was like before cloud computing, I can say before 2006, people were facing this kind of issues. To start a small company in IT also, you have to invest a lot of money, you have to own software, hardware, network and maintenance, you have to have a lot of people. It was not easy. And even they are not finding a proper ROI, they are not finding a proper profit. So what exactly the effect of this ROI? Basically, a lot of people, like whenever recession comes, in 2010, I can say 2000, in the year 2000, worldwide, globally, a lot of people comes under recession, and a lot of companies not able to tolerate the investment, that means expenses. So they did what? They closed company. They lay off some employees. They reduce the employees because of what? To reduce the expenses. So it affects directly what? To the economy of the country. And the country will not grow when do not have an IT industry in their countries. So definitely every country demands IT industry, IT development, and they motivate, they encourage IT industry into their countries. So now, what exactly the government want to have, what every country want to have look out solution for this problem, because IT industry is not growing very fast, slowly, snailing. That means 2%, 5% yearly, just growing few companies. So now because of what? Capital expenses and operation expenses. So they found this kind of issues and they found it's not developing quickly, and because of only the reason is what? Capital expenses, operation expenses. And people are not happy with this kind of ROI. So in the year 2006, so in the year 2006, like someone raised and someone want to have a kind of solution to this IT industry, and one person came to that particular solution and they started shouting, yes, I have a solution, I can give a solution to the IT industry. But unfortunately, he was not from the IT background, he was not from IT industry, and people were not believing him as a what, a kind of potential kind of technology or something. They are not accepting as a positiveness. If Microsoft or Google, someone says that we are providing this kind of technology or facility or solution, people definitely believe it. But a person who was not from an IT background, who was from a retail background, that means he was from Amazon, like basically Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is basically a founder of Amazon. They started initially as an online store, retail business, bookseller, but he's basically an entrepreneur, so definitely is a solution, is a kind of business for him. So he just take an opportunity as a perspective of business, and he's take what? He find a solution that why not to give an IT industry rental business. That means they are bothering about what? Infrastructure investment. Operation expenses and capital expenses are more to maintain the infrastructure, to deliver the application. Right now we are seeing that Flipkart or your Amazon or you have a YouTube, Facebook, a lot of business, online business also, sales and purchase. So a lot of people are earning good and they are dependent on what? Application. To run application, the infrastructure, what exactly if they own, definitely is going to be a lot of expenses for them, and there will be a profit, less profit to them. So to solve this problem, Jeff Bezos came into market and says that yes, I can give a solution to you. In 2006 officially they started, but initially in 2004 they shorted a lot of things. They did a lot of market, they want to explain something, yes, we can solve the problem of IT industry, but people did not believe initially easily. They definitely, it's a kind of natural kind of phenomena, right? So basically people do not believe who are not expert or specialized in our technology. But he tries and he explains all the kind of facility, what exactly is going to provide, and ideas with a team. It's not, he's an entrepreneur, he did not know about technology, but he can hire, he can have an idea. So he did well into this technology, and initially Apple, NASA, Netflix, Expedia, these people become as a what? A customer for this Jeff Bezos. What he want to bring idea. What was the idea? Why? He said, I have a solution. What was the idea basically? So he said that I'm going to provide a solution for what? Rental solution of what? Data center. The infrastructure basically we call as what? In every company, without infrastructure, a software cannot be run. A software cannot be accessed or facilitate to the customers without infrastructure. So the infrastructure is basically called as what? Data center also. Data center. A server plus storage plus networking altogether we can call as what? Data center. A place where you have a complete equipment or devices to run your application. That place is called what? Data center. So the problem, because of a lot of companies facing the problem because of what? Data center. A lot of expenses to maintain and to deliver, a lot of things. So for this, what Jeff Bezos says that I have a solution. Why not to rent? Why not to take a rent as a rent? Don't own it. Don't purchase it. Why not to make it run? Even software, hardware, network, whatever you want. You want data center? Take it from me. So that's a solution what they want to do. And how they explain, how we are providing. And a lot of people ask the question, okay, we'll take a rental, no problem. We'll take rental as a data center from you, but what is the guarantee of your high availability? What is the guarantee of your durability of data? And what is security perspective? And what will be the performance? Because when Amazon starts, they started in North Virginia initially in 2006. Officially they started in what? North Virginia in USA. They invested a lot of money on this technology. What he did is he purchased a big land in North Virginia and he started what? Building data center, a very strong data center, because he wanted to provide the facility to the public, a lot of companies. So he did a kind of data center in North Virginia, very strong, powerful data center, and he said, whatever you need, a solution to run your company, you need Oracle, you need Java, you need SAP, you need any kind of Windows, Linux, any operating system, any application, what you want, machine learning, you need IoT software, you need any kind of data analytics, you need development tools, all the infrastructure facilities are available with us. Only do what? Just take it as a rent. And when people says how we need to go, anything we have to give any advance or upfront? No upfront, no advance. The policy of initially Amazon, what exactly they want to say. No upfront, no initial payment, just use it, pay it later, pay as you go model. That means a postpaid kind of facility. Data center, what exactly Java, Oracle they are giving, and servers they are giving is going to be very costly to set up. As I said, 40 to 50 lakhs and 20 lakhs you have to invest. But that same kind of facility they are giving as a what? Rental. And they are saying that no upfront. So because of this, a lot of people got attracted as startup companies who was dreaming about what? Having our own startup company. And a lot of startup companies approached to this idea and blindly they accepted this. Because of what? Investment less. No investment. You just go ahead, operation expenses reduces, capital expenses become zero. Definitely ROI become what? High. So definitely people love it. Every investor definitely go with what? This technology. So because of this, now we are seeing that worldwide IT is booming, industries are going on, and a lot of jobs and a lot of companies are offering different jobs in IT industry. And because of this, we are seeing application. Everything is on what? On your hand. Only fingertips. You just click, you get something. You can purchase, you can sell, you can do a lot of things. Because of what? Cloud computing. Data center as a solution by Jeff Bezos, who initiated this kind of facility. So now, when they ask about high availability, durability and security performance, and they said the high availability according to the Amazon strategy, how they build their infrastructure, on the basis of that, they did not say that 100%, they said what? They said 99.99% the high availability of our servers. Example, I am from India. I want to access the data center of Amazon which is located in North Virginia. So it's very far. So what about the performance? If I want to run Java Oracle on your infrastructure, which is installed and running on your infrastructure, I want to use it. So it's going to be performance issue. The first question, and they said tomorrow you can mail me or you can just make a call. I'm sorry, we have a problem of internet or power supply servers. Definitely my business go off. Is there any guarantee of the high availability of your servers? Amazon says yes. According to our strategy, we make a kind of infrastructure, we build infrastructure in such a manner, the infrastructure will not have any kind of issues. 99.99 we are giving SLA. What is mean by SLA? Service level agreement. What is that? Service level agreement. So they said that it's not verbal, it's not oral, it's a kind of written like service agreement. We are giving facility 99.99%. That means yearly, maybe the chances of 1 hour or 2 hours you'll get downtime. But they are saying that 99.99%. But earlier, we used to own it, we used to invest in a lot of things, even though weekly or monthly you'll find 12 hours, 24 hours downtime due to attacks, security like hackers, virus, or something on servers, power supply, internet issue, performance problem, internal issues. But now everything is maintained by what? Amazon. We are not bothered about maintenance, we are not bothered about any kind of purchasing, only renting. Even there is no initial amount also. It's a good business offered by Amazon. So because of this, a lot of companies approached and started their business. And now we are seeing in a small 2 BHK or 3 BHK, they're starting company. Because of what? No need to worry about infrastructure. Taking rent through Amazon. What exactly they provide as a rental service. So now, the durability, what is they said, is going to be what? 11 nines. They said the data, the customer asks to Amazon, when I'm keeping the data, my official data, my business data on your infrastructure, what is the guarantee of my data, durability of my data? They said 11 nines. Only 0.1% is going to be what? Chances are there, because if someone says 100% I'll give, that means it's lie. No one can fulfill your 100%. So Amazon says 11 nines we can provide the facility, the guarantee of data durability. In such a way we have designed, if one hard disk fail or something failed, so again we have a backup of another storage or server. So in this way they have a lot of solutions, they have answered to a lot of questions, and finally people got this, they adapted this technology in 2007. 2006 officially declared, but people were not dedicated to that technology, they were not believing easily because of security and some issues. But later in 2007 they picked locked, and now Amazon able to have what? How many customer? 1 million customers. As I said, NASA, Apple, Citrix, VMware, GoDaddy, a lot of companies become what? A client of Amazon. That means the big companies are adapting. That means you can understand the technology is good enough to go with that. Same thing realized by the Microsoft and Google in 2010. They did mistake. They ignored Jeff Bezos as a non-IT guy and just giving a solution. So it's not going to be work. And they ignored Jeff Bezos. So what the result? Now Microsoft and Google is trying to catch up Amazon. Oh, it's not easy. He's very strategic person, and they are doing well kind of facility, and still from 2006 to 2023 they are on a top position as a best cloud provider. Amazon is the best provider right now. Microsoft, even though being into this, born and brought up into this IT industry, they are not able to catch. Still only Amazon. But it's not that Microsoft is bad. In second position. So they started in what? 2010. That means 4 years gap. 4 year gap. So fine. That's going to be a general points we need to understand. And how many regions they have right now in market? They started from North Virginia. Now worldwide Amazon is growing. 30 sites, 30 footprints they have worldwide. Now in India we have Mumbai and Hyderabad. Mumbai and Hyderabad, their regions. That means more business, more IT companies definitely work here because the cloud facility of Amazon is near to the country. So definitely people attract to this country. So a lot of people get investment, do investment in this country because of what? Facilities there. So now 30 regions, 1 million plus customers they have, and 200 plus services they are offering. If you are working with machine learning, your company, yes, we have a solution. Amazon saying we have a solution. We can come up and just do it. IoT, you need any kind of multimedia kind of thing. You need bitcoins. You need any kind of facility. Whatever you want to do, we have 200 plus services you can do on our platform. without any investment, no capital expenses, only operation expenses. How need to pay? Pay as you go. How much you use, that much you have to pay. There is no fixed charges. The model what behind this, they said, tomorrow if pandemic or business is not working, well, you just close the services. There is no bill. Pay as you go model means you're happy and you're doing business, do it. And how much you have to pay? If you run for 20 hours, you have to pay only 20 hours. If you work for 2 hours, you have to pay only 2 hours. And when they find the calculations of hourly rate also, they find and they surprise, people surprise that 70 to 80% is less according to their own infrastructure. So that's wonderful. Now the game over. What? There is no choice except cloud. Now the cloud become as a platform. Without that, they cannot run business. Any IT company cannot run the business without cloud computing. Now they're dependent. Now they become what? Dependent. So the idea behind this started in 2006 officially by Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and now the cloud computing is the top position in a survey where it says that cloud computing engineers are more demanded. In every startup company to big company, multinational company, they require what? Cloud engineer. Without that, they cannot start because they are dependent on cloud platform. But who is going to help them? A cloud engineer is going to help them, who can understand, who can work, who can implement this kind of facility to you. So that's going to be a kind of story about brief what is cloud computing. So basically you can say what is cloud computing. If someone says, you can say what? A technology which gives you data center as a what? Rental service with a what? Pay as you go model. No upfront, no advance. You just go ahead, start your business, start your accessing your data center from us through what? Now without internet, the cloud computing you cannot access. You understand now why they have given the name cloud computing. Earlier we used to do computing on your mobile device or something self, but now through internet. That's why they have decided that why not to keep this technology name as what? Cloud computing, because it's completely depend on what? Internet. You're doing computing on what? Through internet. Example is an Amazon data center example, and I want to access it. A few companies want to access data center right now. So what they need to go through what? The company one is going to be in India, example, and is going to be what? Canada. So they want to access. So how they access the data center of Amazon? AWS infrastructure. They have to go through what? Internet. Then they can jump. So that means this is dependent. You're doing computing not on your machines. You're doing computing on where? Amazon infrastructure. If you're running Oracle or Java, the server resources, RAM, CPU will be used by the Amazon infrastructure, not your devices. Example, I want to run SAP on my mobile. Can I run? No, it's not possible. SAP is a very big application. It needs a lot of RAM and CPU power. But now it's possible. You're just running, but your CPU and RAM is not running that software. Amazon data center is running. You're just accessing the application which is running on data center, and you're paying what? How much you use. How much you use. There is no upfront. So Amazon has given a big good strategy on a business manner, and they have given solution to a lot of countries, and now it's become as a what? Number one position, and you can say richest person in the world, Jeff Bezos. That means Amazon, because of what? This technology. I can say 1 million plus customers going on and 30 regions. So now they are growing, 30 plus we can say. But later Microsoft and Google come in the market, Oracle come in the market. A lot of people started their own cloud, but leading right now technologies were these three providers: Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. So I hope like you got an idea that means a cloud computing engineer is more demand because of what? When the technology is demand, definitely to handle the technology, to manage the technology, a person is needed, a kind of skilled person is needed. And now basically right now in the market, hiring model is what? They are not hiring on a degree base, they are hiring on what? Skill base. Remember this point. Earlier it was what? You should be on a computer background, you have to be an IT background degree or something. Right now they are not preferring this. They are looking for what? Skills and communication. Communication is very important because you'll get mostly job in multinational companies. And the cloud computing engineer is more in demand, you can feel now. Without that, a company cannot start. Every companies are moving on cloud. If you see surrounding your kind of area or where you are living, your electricity department or your any kind of petroleum or whatever the facility you're getting in your home or your resources, right? So all things are dependent on what? Cloud. Manufacturing of cars, manufacturing of bikes, retail industries, they want to run applications. How they do that? They need to have infrastructure. So they are doing what? Online. If they want to sell online, any kind of Ola or you can say Rapido or something, they are dependent on what? Cloud. They depend on what? Cloud. Without that, ROI will not be good. So there is no chance. Only they have to accept cloud, whether Amazon, Microsoft or Google. But the top leading and what facility and the pricing is by Amazon right now. So now, why I am learning DevOps? Because a cloud engineer and DevOps engineer are two different positions. So why should I learn two things? Why should I learn two things? Because I want to become only one position. I don't want to go for DevOps. It's good to have initially, it's good idea, because why to go with two technology, two learning, to have a lot of load? Why not to have only one position? But only the reason is what? Job description. In a market, there's a different kind of description because they are asking about what? Multi-skills person. They are searching what? Multi-skill. When you are going for a cloud engineer job, they are asking about what? You should have Linux, hands-on experience, Linux, and you should have basics Python language, programming language. You should have shell scripts idea. And the major is basically what? AWS. Because they are looking for a cloud engineer, they may be looking for what? 80% they are asking about AWS. But 10%, 15% they want to have some different tools also. They are looking for what? Again, some DevOps tools also. How much? But job is what? Cloud engineer. But they are looking for what? They should have some Terraform or Jenkins, some other software which comes into what? DevOps tools. So if I want to go for a cloud engineer, if I learn only AWS, is it enough? No. The market demands in a different variation. The requirements are different. So if you are not matched with the requirement, definitely you will not get receive call, you will not get email because of what? Your skills are not matching. After doing a job also, you just bother about what? I'm not getting calls. Because of what? The skills is different, what exactly the companies need. So that's why when you go for a DevOps engineer job, so what exactly they're asking again? Linux become more important right now. A lot of development, software development, testing, and a lot of things are going on what? Linux, because of secure and fast and low cost. Investment is low and it's very faster and secure compared to Windows. They're asking for what? Same thing. Now you can see here, AWS they need what? Because our job is what? DevOps. So definitely they look what? Majority is what? DevOps skills. As I said, DevOps is not a specialist, it's a generalist. Means you should have a lot of tools. So they are going to say what? DevOps is going to be 80%, and among like 20% is going to be what? Linux and Python or shell script. You're not going to be specialist in shell script. They're not looking for a Python developer. They're looking for what? You should have working idea about Python, shell script and Linux. That's enough. So this way, when you apply for any job, you're getting what? Mix. When you're going for AWS, they're asking 10 to 15% of DevOps. So definitely, you should have the skills. So what we have designed the course, we club this course AWS and DevOps because you can easily get calls when you have a multi-skills. And the course is completely designed on a job description base, and all the modules will be explained in a real-time scenario, how the company works. You have to understand the problems you have to solve with a specific service of Amazon or DevOps. How do you solve? How do you give a solution to the companies? So we are going to do in a practical manner, but you have to be regular, you have to be punctual, and you have to raise your concern. Anytime you can raise a concern. When the class is going on, you're not able to understand something, you can raise your concern and you can make a point. And here, anyone can do what I said, the job. Like here, you can say, we can ask about what? I just completed my graduate, I'm a fresher. I'm not from IT background. Can I do that course? Yes. Because this course is completely designed from zero to hero. We start with basics. We start with what? Very basics. And I have been in the non-IT domain for 3 years and 4 years, and I am not aware about, but I have experience of my job. I'm not a fresher, but non-IT. But very new to what? IT domain. Can I learn it? Yes. This course is not directly going to the professional way, but we have to go for it with professional to get a job. But we designed the course initially as a word from the zero, very basics. And to become a cloud DevOps engineer, need coding specialist. People fear about what? Do I need to learn Java? They need to learn something programming? No. Developers are different, coders are different, and non-coding is different. We are into non-coding, operation team. We are into what? Operation team. So we are into infrastructure engineer. So we do not require much coding exposure. We require coding, but less. We'll train you what is coding and how to do it. Very simple way. Now, how much would be the CTC? Like here, the cost, the salary I can get as a fresher. So every fresher, whenever you get, you'll get difficulty to get job. It's not easy. A fresher job. You have to struggle a lot. So now, but when you're getting a startup position on a cloud and DevOps, you'll get what? 3 to 5. In between, you can get a package. In between 3 to 5, you can get a package. Is it possible to get fresher job easily? As I said, it's honestly, it's not easy. But you cannot get everything easy. You have to struggle. You have to have patience. It's very important. So we'll help you all those things, how to tackle and how to do the access and how to get a job in your domain. What I have to do in this job are skill required to match my most JD. As I said, you have to be generalist. You cannot learn only one tool and relax. No, you have to generalist. So we are going to learn a lot of tools and we'll explain all the tools in a later class. Today what my intention is what? To give you like idea about what? How we are going. The course is completely designed of what? 90 days. Mostly the theory and the practical, the classes and your labs would be 180 hours and 200 hours you have to spend. And online assessment MCQ on each module. That means we'll give some kind of link to you where you can just have MCQ questions to make your assessment. That means we need to understand how you are into this subject. And definitely to do a job, you have to understand the projects. You have to do projects. So AWS also we give project, and DevOps also we get a project. We'll train mostly in a practical manner, and how the companies are working, how we'll get a project, how you do startup, how you start the project, how you work with a team. We'll give explanation all those things. You can get exposure of what? Working scenarios. So these are the things like here, what exactly we want to go. So it's from my end. So now if you have any questions, please go ahead. Your concern. Any question from anyone, please, online? Any question for me? Nazahat, Nishad, and Venkat Sai here. Mohsin, Sayyid Ali here. Aisha, is there any question for me?
No, sir.
Fine.
No, sir.
Thank you, Venkat. So now, just we have done with what? Understanding the subject about this. Only the history, how the cloud computing start, and how the companies are dependent on cloud computing. There is no way. Every company, whether the product-based company or service-based company, they need to adapt what? Cloud computing. Fine. We'll talk later more onto that, more technically. Tomorrow we'll have a class again on understanding only, right? And 3 classes definitely go with understanding and gathering some technical terminology. Tomorrow we'll explain you what advantage and disadvantage of cloud, and some technical terms like deployment model and service models, and we'll understand your work role, what you're going to work, how do you work in a company as a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, how do you work. So we'll discuss about your roles and responsibility in a company, daily work, how do you do that. So tomorrow we'll do that, okay? On the same time, 7:10 or 7:15 will start, so please join on time. Any question offline, please? Kashif? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Like, what kind of certification, it does require for both a DevOps engineer and a AWS engineer? How much it is cost, and how many exams we need to approach?
Fine. That's a good question. I appreciate your question, Venkat. Like here, training, the priority you have to give what to your training. The number one is skills. When you are good into the skills, then to get a job, 99% companies are asking about what? You should have a certification, international certification from a vendor. Example, you're working in Amazon, definitely you need an Amazon certification. Tomorrow I'll explain the layers of the certification, how Amazon offers. But right now the question arises. So on the base of that, at least you should go for cloud associate. To become a professional into this IT industry, you should have what? A certification name is what? Solution Architect Associate. Okay? That's going to be a question on your cloud and Amazon specific. And DevOps, now you have to go specific tools. You can have a specialized, you can go for Terraform certification, you can have certification on something. Depend on your skills, how do you learn your DevOps, and you are good at what? 10 out of 8 you are giving to a specific tool, then do the certification on that. So it's not a complete certification on a DevOps, only one certificate to everything. Because you're learning what? Genres, multiple tools. But when you're working with, a lot of people confuse with what? In a market, Azure DevOps is different, AWS DevOps is different, and DevOps is different. Three terminologies are very important in order to understand the subject. There are what? DevOps. And one more is what? Azure DevOps. One more is what? So all are DevOps. But what is this? What I am learning? So we are learning what? Open source software. What is that? Why we are learning this thing? Why we are approaching? Because market is going with this. When you learn with this open source software, you'll have a lot of flexibility to work with managed services. Azure and AWS is a cloud-based services offering the DevOps services to you. to implement DevOps methodology. So right now, Azure and Amazon, DevOps is basically called what? Managed services. That means your load will be released. No need to bother about the maintenance of the infrastructure of DevOps tools. Everything is ready. Just use it. That's going to be easy. But you cannot customize your own. If you want to customize your own kind of infrastructure, workflow, then you have to go for open source softwares. So if you learn open source softwares, you're learning more. Then you're very easy to jump into what? AWS DevOps and Azure DevOps you can understand well because you did from the scratch. So we are learning what? DevOps open source because market is going with that, and if you learn these tools, multiple tools on this operate like not specific to the Amazon or Azure, we are learning generally. We are learning the tools which are market demanded. So I hope like here you understood now. Venkat, your question? Venkat, is it clear for you?
Yeah, actually say that.
Yeah. DevOps, like when you go for AWS DevOps and Azure DevOps, so you can do certification from that vendor, Azure DevOps and AWS DevOps. But right now, I do not recommend you in a course to invest a lot of money. Only go for what? AWS certification, associate level. Certification is enough to get a job into this domain. And DevOps, depending on your understanding and your score, and you can say that if you are good into a specific tool, you can go with that particular certification. I'll guide you how to do that. Any questions again, please? Anyone to ask? Syed Mohsin here, Ali and Nishat, Nazahat. Fine. So thank you for today and joining on time. Definitely we'll continue tomorrow with more information on cloud and DevOps. We'll explain about roles and responsibility. So let's conclude this session here. Thank you for joining. Take care. Bye-bye. Tomorrow we'll continue. So I have a next class, so I have to we'll talk on just go. Tomorrow we'll have more time, right? Grace. अभी तक गीत में शर
VCM Technologies exactly where sir located? Hyderabad में नहीं कहाँ है sir? VCM Technologies.
तो तुम जो select करें ना, what you have selected? You selected a Bangalore base, right? Is it Bangalore or what?
Which sir?
What you have selected?
VCM Technologies sir. It's a Hyderabad company. तुम mention करें sir.
You search on Google.
Google search करें sir.
वेबसाइट है उसका MCA देखिए स्पेलिंग क्या है
VCM VCM Technologies Private Limited Space Technologies Private Limited.
So you can check about the company related information, right?
Okay.
Like when they establish, how they are doing that.
हैदराबाद में है सर वो।
बता रहा हूँ, मुझे भी बताता हूँ। वेबसाइट चेक करो,
ये केरला से।
So you have selected, you said that you work as a work from home, that's it.
ओके। तो सर ये केरला में बोल गुंटूर कंपनी है ना सर, गुंटूर में है ये वीसीएम टेक्नोलॉजी में। गुंटूर बोले तो रिमोट वर्क कर लेती बोले तो बस
बोलो केरला में भी है, ये लोग चेक करेंगे ना। They'll
ये
check,
बोल रहे
they'll check about this because it's not you. They'll cross check.
ओके
They'll check cross check on that
ओके सर
whether they're private limited or not, they're listed on the company and government sector or not. They'll check all those things.
ओके विच यू हैव सेड सर ये जो गुंटूर बता रहे सर।
Right?
ओके सर।
So we have a branch in Kerala also, but initially we started in Guntur. Fine. Good morning to all. So I heard like till now we are waiting for again 3 guys here. We have not joined till now. Fine. What we did last class? We did what? Okay. We got understanding about storage. I hope we did about S3 and we had got about something about hosting also, right? And I have explained about life cycle. Life cycle also I have explained what are the classes available in S3 and why do we swap, automate swapping toward one class to the class because of to save the cost. Depend on your purely on work, on your accessing, how you access your data. So frequent or infrequent, the two terminology we can use, frequent or infrequent. Sometime we'll make a decision on a factor of what? Durability. Do you require durability, more durability or not? If you require less durability, less charges. More durability, more charges. According to Amazon criteria and they given the facility. Depending on the business, you can use it. So you have to know this kind of all facility. It's not copy paste and uploading and downloading. It's a strategy. You have to understand where to keep the data, in which class, how to keep it, when to apply life cycle, when to apply this kind of hosting, when to make a private, when to make a public, when to make versioning. These are the terminology what you have to understand in S3. I hope we have explained about something on replication policy also. Replication is what? You have a storage, a bucket. You have it 2 buckets. Example, bucket we know that whenever we want to store something in S3, we need to create a bucket. Without bucket, you cannot store anything. Bucket is the essential container, a kind of object. So now, you are into Ohio, but what you want a kind of DR solution. Disaster recovery. If something happened to Ohio, your backup is close. Your backup is crashed. That means destroyed. Because you stored the data into Ohio and Amazon reported that Ohio region is completely destroyed because of some natural disaster. Fire incident, earthquake or cyclone or something, they got a lot of issues. So my company don't want to take risks. If Amazon got something problem, I don't want to go with that. So Amazon trained that you can keep a strategy of DR, disaster recovery. If something happened to Ohio, you can have data into what? As a backup solution, you do replication. You do what? Continuous replication from Ohio to where? North Virginia or wherever you want to do. I'm just giving example of what? 2 regions. I want what? Replication. What is that? Why we do replication of the data from one region to the region? For backup. Because our company says that, and what we found is very sensitive and very protective. If we lose this data, we are going to lose millions and billions. So we don't want to take a risk. We don't want to depend on only one kind of store. You have to make a copy on different store also. So I'm not going to do regularly copy, 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 copy. I want continuous copy procedure. Whenever we say continuous copy procedure, in a technical word, we say replication. What is that? Replication. It's a continuous process. Only just make a process enable to this particular, automatically replication will goes on. If something happened to Ohio, then you'll have your more kind of data safe, protected in different region. So you can switch to the data to your application again with a less downtime, also. So that's going to be strategy you are going to apply in your real time. So definitely in interview, they'll ask you about replication, they'll ask you about life cycle, they'll ask you about versioning, they'll ask you about what is hosting, can you host a website, when to make a private bucket, when to make a public bucket, they can ask you. So you have to say, it's honestly, it's going to be on what? Depend on requirement. The requirement says that you have to expose, you have to facilitate this content to public. Then I have to make a public. Then the requirement says that it's very confidential and it should be distributed, it should be accessed by XYZ employees. Then I'll go for what? Is it clear? So you have to understand the strategy, scenarios. On the base of that, you can explain about the future of S3. You can implement. As I explained about what? Life cycle, replication, events. What is events?
Sir, replication will have different charges apart from the main one.
Fine. In a cloud, it's very important to bother about what? Charges. A transfer charges applicable. That means incurred. The transfer charges means what? When you transfer from one region to other region, so it's going to be, a charges will be applicable here. One. And second, you're going to pay what? For storage, because you're duplicating. You're storing in Ohio also, you're storing in North Virginia. So when you're storing in North Virginia, why not to keep in what? Because in North Virginia I'm not using. Why not to keep in what? Standard IA or one zone IA. The cost will be reduced. But in Ohio, I want to keep as a what? Standard, because of frequent access. So that means you have to make a strategy on that base. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
As I said initially, the factor of making a bill to you, what are the factors? Amazon will make a bill on that. Amazon charges. How? Charges factors. One is what? Storage. One is what? Computing. And what? Transport. The charges on these three factors. Whenever you talk about storage service, definitely when you move the data from one location to the location, you need to have what? Bother about charges. And your storing means you have to pay for charges. And when you're running an application on a computing, when you're selecting and you're opting for a RAM and CPU, that means you have to go for what? Computing charges. Computing charges is whenever any service which says you have to select which CPU, how much CPU you required, how much RAM you required, that means you have to pay their computing charges. When the service is not asking about computing resources and power, and they're just giving a facility of storing, that means you don't bother about computing, you pay only for what? Storage. Because as the services offered by Amazon, a lot of services are what? Managed services. Managed means which is managed by Amazon. The PaaS solution, platform as a service. Platform as a service. Now, about events, one of the best feature of life cycle and your replication events, it's also is going to be very helpful in ongoing work if someone delete, like here I have shared a bucket to multiple employees and they are working on that, developers and testing engineers are working on that, I want to have a situation that whenever someone uploads something, I want that it should be reported to some other team. It's a pipeline job. That means one employee finishes the work, the other work should be handled by another employee, another team. A developer finishes the work, the testing should do the testing. If the developer finished the work or someone uploaded some contents, it need to be inserted into the database. That means the processes will be there, data process will be there. So in this situation, events are going to be very helpful. So it will do a monitoring, self-monitoring for the event. Self-monitoring for the event. That means what event? Example. Someone uploading the data into where? In this bucket. And someone is doing what? You perform a lot of actions. Sometimes you upload, sometimes you delete, sometimes you create a folder, sometimes you want to change the permission. You perform what? Create, delete, modify. You do a lot of actions. So these all actions we got as what? Of the user. They want to perform something. If they perform, I want S3 should monitor that particular specific bucket, specific event. If any event occur into the bucket, I want to take action. What action? I want to trigger, I want to call another service. You can say for another process, we can go for what? Lambda. Or we can go for what? Other things. Just queues for 1 minute, please. Hello. Hello. हाँ जी बोलिए. अच्छा ठीक है. कहाँ पर है? शॉप होगा. अमेज़न ये जो ना आपका सलीम नगर कम्युनिटी हॉल पे पहुँचे. हाँ बस वहाँ पर जो ना, अच्छा ये जो कम्युनिटी हॉल का जो मेन एंट्रेंस है ना, मदर डेयरी बोल के शॉप है, उसके एंट्रेंस मदर डेयरी शॉप है. बस गली में जाने का आपको 4th वाला मकान कलीम बोल के थोड़ा ग्रीन कलर का जो है कलीम बोल के तो वो गेट. हाँ नॉक करो. मैं भी अभी नॉक कर लीजिए. बेल मारी अंदर की बेल मारी. ठीक है प्लीज. Fine. So now what I want to do, if someone did anything into this bucket, I want to take action. My company process is different, so someone uploaded something, I want that my S3 bucket should do automation. It should call to Lambda function. It will trigger to Lambda function. Lambda will execute some program here. I have done some program like in with Python. I did some programming here. I stored some functions here. Basically to do what? Insert data into where? Database. So I want to perform other tasks. So it can be done with what? Event. But sometime I want to do only what? I want to notify. I want to do what? Notification. I want to notify to a team to respond, to take further action manually. So I can do that what? Notification also. So that's going to be what? Events. The interview questions can be on this kind of features, and they can give you what? Scenario. You have to listen proper scenario, then you can say that yes, I can do it with the help of this feature. I can do it with the help of this feature. So you have to understand the future, how we are going to implement in a real time. What situation? Bucket policy. What is bucket policy? It's a kind of custom permissions. You want to make more security. You want to have flexible security, customized security. You can keep with the help of bucket policy. Bucket policy is not click, click, click. You have to do what? Coding. That means it's not a big coding. You're not a coder. Then interviewer is not expecting from your coding from you, but they need basic knowledge also. For making an automation, you need basic knowledge. So there's a JSON script here offered by Amazon. Here we use what? JSON, Java script, object notation here. So this script, you're going to understand the structure. You need to have what? Structure of JSON and how to modify it to keep various permissions on bucket. So which script you are going to use? JSON script. So let's see what is the structure of the JSON script, because interviewer will definitely ask you how do you write a JSON script and how do you modify, how do you make it possible. So they can ask you this kind of thing. Now I'll explain you something on first this. Now I can see any bucket, I'll take any bucket. So in the bucket, you'll find what? This first option is called what? Objects. In that you can upload, you can delete the object. Whatever you upload is called what? Object. And you can get a lot of details. What type of file, which date, what time you modified, what is the size, storage, which storage you stored. That means a brief metadata will be available here. In metrics, you can find what? Your usage. In this particular bucket, how much total size of your bucket? In interview, they can ask you, how can you find the size of a bucket? How much you're using that particular size, the data complete. And how many numbers of objects you're storing? 100, 200, 500. So all things will be available in what? Metrics. In properties, you'll find what? Your bucket in which region? What is the name of the bucket, which is generated by Amazon? ARN. The terminology they use what? ARN. Amazon resource name. ARN is what? Resource means your bucket is basically called what? Resource. And what I have chosen a name? XYZ. I said my bucket is a what? Java project. So the name will be prescribed like a what? ARN colon, AWS S colon, S3 colon colon, then your name. ARN is having a format, name format, which is basically used when you're doing some kind of JSON script. So it will ask, what is your resource name? ARN name. ARN name is what? You should not give directly name of your bucket. You should give in a format. Creation date, versioning if you want to modify, you want to do tagging, encryption, decryption, you want to apply, all those things you can modify with the properties. Server access logging, you want to make a logs enable here. I want to track for auditing purpose who is accessing, who is modifying, what date, what time. Only I want to make logs, records for security reason. So you can go for what? Logs also. You can enable logs. Event notification, here event is available here. Here event bridge also is there, schedule. So event notification is only for what? Making an SNS or making trigger to Lambda services. But here we have what? Event bridge also. Send notification to Amazon bridge to all events in the bucket. So again, this event bridge can help you to do more actions also. More actions. Notification and even actions. Transfer acceleration. This question is going to be common. Transfer acceleration. What is transfer acceleration? Now the company says that a customer want to upload a lot of data, right? They want to migrate the data to S3. They're uploading a lot of huge data, TBs and you can say exabytes. They're uploading. They're doing what? 10 TB, 20 TB data. They want to migrate from their data center to Amazon. So by default, when your bucket is you created, so it's work with the default bandwidth. It's having a basic bandwidth because you're working in a locally. But someone is transferring from outside to inside. You need more bandwidth. Bandwidth nothing but a speed, capacity of taking in. So now, when I accelerate this, the charges apply, but you can see that use the accelerated endpoint for faster data transfer. What is the purpose? Which will incur additional fees. You click here, you'll get documentation about fees. But when I have to do this, the scenario is very important. When company want to upload terabytes of data, petabyte of data, then it is recommended to go for what? Acceleration. Just enable it. It will give you more bandwidth. It will open more facility speed to your S3, so data can be transferred very fast. That means that's why saying what? Fast data transfer. Fast data transfer. Especially in migration. When you're doing migrating huge data, so we use what? Accelerate, right? We got already versioning idea and tags and everything, encryption. Now we are going to talk about what? Request pay. When enable, the requester pays for request and data transfer cost, and anonymous access to the bucket is disabled. Requester pay means what? We have two accounts, account A and account B. Someone want to access from different account. My account A having this bucket, and someone want to access from account B to this my bucket. I have given permission, but I want the data charges should be on their account, not my bill, not my account. So can I go for requester pay? Yes. Who is requesting to access my data? So I want that should be on what? Their payment, right? So that's going to be what? The requester pays for request and data transfer costs. So say enable, only just simple options, enable and disable options. Static website we have done already. So we have various options. Sometimes some options are related to what? Data analytics. But at least we see that what exactly we need. Event, I said, data transfer is very important to know. And we need to understand the hosting facility. We need to understand the metrics. We need to understand the permissions here. In the permission, you have option called what? So now, what I want to make this bucket policy. I want to create a policy for this bucket. We have two ways. One, you can directly type here, or you can have what? Policy generator. I don't know how to write a script, but I want to apply. So is it possible to have any kind of assistance? So Amazon says yes. Use policy generator, which can ask you some questions. You just input it. Automatically script will be generated. That is called policy generator. Even Amazon says that we have a lot of samples, templates is ready for you. What commonly industry need? The permission. So we have prepared already for you. You can copy and you can change that particular arguments. So now when I go for this, click on the examples. To understand the policy, it's good to have our examples. If I scroll down, I have a topic. they said that requiring encryption, managing accessing based on what? IP address, managing user access to specific folder. This is basically different service, OIA. That means it's a kind of what? CloudFront access. We'll talk on that point. But I want to give what? This option. First, this, or I can say what? About the specific folder. We can do easily. So now, I'll go with what? One option called IP address. Now to understand the script, how the script look like. In Java, you'll find a lot of flower brackets, a lot of quotation, colon, and it's very sensitive. If you give space also, it having some value. It will give errors. So it's a very complicated script when you are not a coder, when you're not habitual to this coding. But YAML is going to be very very easy language, very easy script compared to JSON. And a lot of automation in DevOps, they are implementing on base of what? YAML. They are not implementing on base of JSON. We have a two choice. But easiest script is what? YAML is the easiest script. You can write very easy, you can understand easy. But later now, we have to understand at least JSON also. What is this? Version of the JSON. An ID. You can give any ID. ID 1, ID 2, policy 1, policy 2, policy 3. You can have your own description. Then what do you need? A bucket policy. A JSON have one statement or multiple statements. Statement means what? I want to say S3, do this, do this, do this. That is called what? Statement. In statement, you can have one argument or multiple arguments. So what is argument? SID is the argument. Effects. That means a statement will have certain arguments. On the base of the argument, the script will run. The script will do the action. Whether you want to protect, whether you want to allow, you want to deny, you can do that. So one is what? SID. Argument 1. Effect. Principle. Action. Resources. How many arguments are there? Basically 5 arguments are available. So it's very important to run a script. You need to understand these 5 arguments value. This called what? Key. This called what? Value. Key is what? Keyword, which cannot be changed, which is defined and which is executed by the JSON library. We cannot have your own word. But value, it is basically done by what? User. I want to keep a name as a policy name as a word. IP allow. I want to allow some users from a specific IP. So I can give what? A specific name to understand my script purpose. Affect can have 2 values, either deny or allow. You want to create a policy for deny, you want to create a policy for allow, you have to decide. So what you can change? Allow, deny. So now you can see that it becomes sentence. Deny. Principle is what? To whom. To whom means what? Which user or which service. The data can be accessed from the bucket. It can be a human, can be a service. An automation service. A program is contacting and they want to get something from what? Data from the bucket. So now I want who can access. So where we have to define? In principle. So whenever we see this wildcard, asterisk, star, this makes what? All. So I'm saying what? Deny all. From which bucket? Which action? S3 bucket action. Actions are what? Uploading, creating a folders, deleting the files and objects, changing the permission. These are called events, actions. So which action? I said what? Star. Deny everyone, every action. Every action. Then resource. in S3 you'll have a lot of buckets. Which bucket you want to give a permission? I want to say what? Bucket name. If I say the bucket name, that bucket will get affected. That means deny everyone doing any action on this bucket. It becomes sentence. But we have one more argument called what? Exceptional but. That means deny all, deny everyone, deny every action on this bucket. But why I am saying denying? When I apply the condition, I want that only allow these people when they are accessing from this IP address. They are not asking about username, password. They are asking about what? IP address. When someone is coming, read the IP address of the source machine. If the IP address match with 192.2.0, let's allow these machines to access this bucket. But everything except this, deny, because I have written in a condition statement. Condition? Is it clear now? So now in interview, definitely they'll ask about structure. You say what? JSON elements, right? So what is that? Statement, one or more, statement can contain what? Arguments. Like which arguments? SID. And then what? Affect. And what? Principal. That means it's going to what? Action. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then resources. And you have it. Conditions also. In a SID you can have what? One description. You can give your own description, related description. Effect can be have what? Deny or allow. This value you can put. And here you can put what? Username or which service can access, which user can access. But there is a method of assigning. You need to understand the structure, the format, action. You say what? Someone is creating something, someone is deleting something, uploading, downloading. These are all what? Action. I can say which action someone can do or someone cannot do. Deny or allow with a statement argument called what? Deny, allow. Resources. Which bucket or folder? Which bucket or? Conditions. Exceptional. Exceptional rule. Override. That means the first what statement I have given, I want to override this statement. I want to give what? Override on the base of the condition. If my check the user IP address, if this IP address is matching with this, then allow. It's going to what? Allow. It's not going to deny because I said accept. So they can ask you about this. Can you explain something about the structure of the JSON? How do you write? You say there are a lot of arguments like SID, effects, and principal and action resources. We can change according to our requirements, according to your requirement. If they say, give me example, how do you do that? So you can give example from where? From the examples. So that's going to be good. So if I want to apply, I can say what? I can copy this, I can go to this bucket, I can paste it. I paste it into what? This. But I want to do what? Deny. Which bucket? I have to change the name of the bucket. What is the bucket name? Sorry? Bucket name is what? You can see. Life insurance. You can copy from here also. And what is this? So I want to give something IP address now. This IP address, I want to keep it. I want to say save changes. Successfully I did some changes. Now when I say bucket, and when I see the bucket policy, you can see there's a life insurance. It's saying what? It's saying what? I'm the owner of the bucket. I created this and I am a root admin to this account, even though I'm getting what? You cannot access, because I applied some policy. But it's not that only here. Some people are connecting from remotely from different tools, S3. So they'll get what? Denied. Because of what? I have written some policy in that. I said if you're accessing for extra security, it's good to have what? IP address. I want to allow only my team and my IP address from my network. So I'll take the IP address from my network engineer and I'll keep here. So that's going to be a very good practice to have what? Security layer. I want no one should access from other machines to my bucket. So I can give this. But as a being and I cannot you can say root user, I can again change the permission because I'm having the full permission. I can change the permission. But other people who are accessing from a remote, they cannot do anything. Okay. So I want to do what? I want to delete this policy. Edit this, refresh it, then go here, saying what? Life insurance only bucket object, not public. It's a private bucket. That's why it's saying not public. So now we are able to access now. So you got understanding about this. So now if you see another script, you can easily understand and you can say that. You can explain something to me. What is saying? To whom? What action? Which bucket? XYZ. From which IP address? From a IP address. IP version 4 and IP version 6. So we have other options also. Public IP and private IP also giving. Now we have another script. Now condition is what? Multi-factor. In IAM we have seen already multi-factor, MFA, multi-factor authentication. So what I'm saying, it's not through IP address. If user is having a kind of multi-factor authentication, then the bucket can be accessed or else they cannot access. Multi-factor authentication, mostly a secure employee, authorized employee can have that. Because a OTP kind of thing. Whenever they log in, automatically a credential will be generated. So a lot of scripts are there. Now specific users. Restrict which object tag or which object user should do something. So right now you can see that Principal is what? Is not all. Is saying account number. Is saying what? Role or username. Role or username. So he's saying about role is what? John Doyle. Account number is what? 1122 something, whatever the account number. In a company, you may have what? Multiple accounts, and they're accessing what? Each other. Cross account accessing. In an interview, they can ask what? Is it possible to access the data from one bucket, one account to other account? Yes. Cross account is possible. So is it any restriction you want to apply for that? Yes, I can apply restriction on a bucket policy. I can say account number, I can say whether allow or deny. I'm saying right now what?
Multiple account we can add.
So this is basically what? Permission. Definitely they ask about events, they ask about life cycle, replication, and then they'll ask about this permission, JSON, bucket policy they'll ask. Remember this point? They'll ask definitely, they want to say that, can you edit that script? Can you do some changes? Can you write these permissions? So depending on your answer, they can understand whether you know that practically or not. Life cycle rules, I have already said. Replication rules. It will ask what? Additional steps are required to create replication rules with this. He's saying what? So make a note. Replication rule cannot be created on what? Bucket. In the properties. Enable for this bucket, you must contact enable replication. I'm going here. Oh, I have not done this object lock. Once Amazon S3 bucket lock enable, you cannot disable lock support suspend bucket versioning for the bucket. So what you have to do, you have to contact the support team and you have to take a help from there. Yes, I need a concern. I need to really have a remove this object lock. Once you enable, you cannot do what? You can make it. Earlier I did what? Retention. But I have not done what? That's why it's not aligned. So these are the things like here what I want to do here into this, and I'll give some kind of assignment to you about access point and one option here, the new features of this. Just find out more on what? Assignment, practically on what? Access lens, access point, and you have what? Batch operations. So what we are going to do after this, when you are good into this S3 event lifecycle, and you got an idea about bucket policy, you got an idea about replication, versioning, bucket log, and all those things, you have an idea, you can smoothly work with your S3 service. As I said, you're not going to be a specialist, you're going to be what? Generalists. That's why you're learning a lot of services. Your role, cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, is basically called what? Generalist. You're not specialist. So now, assignment here this, and tomorrow what we'll do, our program schedule is what? You're going to have what? EFS mounting. It's very simple, you can do very quickly, and I'll go for explain about EBS values management. Tomorrow we'll do that. Then we'll start with what? I'll talk about what? Cloud formation plus automation. So it's very important to learn this cloud formation lambda. It's very interesting. Then we'll do what? A project. I'll explain you something on completely projects with different services. Route 223, CloudFront, SSL certificates, how to apply it, how to make a project a complete. So we are going to do on a project level. From here, we integrate what? Like multiple services to make a solution. We integrate multiple services together to make a solution. It's called what? Project. Project is nothing but a what? Demand, requirement, a query from the client. I want to have this kind of infrastructure. So all things together you need to integrate, and you want to create an infrastructure in such a way integration. That's called what? Project. So we are going to integrate some services here. I'll show you some project wise. CloudFront, Route 223, certificate services. Okay. That means this week we can close our AWS services, but it's very important. The major subject is what? EC2, VPC, and storage. That is going to be a core services. Then later, Lambda or CloudFormation, Route 53, CloudFront, SSL certificate, or else you can say monitoring service. These are what? Managed services, and it's going to be what? Very easy to go. And you have one more thing here. Storage is going to what? Database service, relational database service. We'll learn here. So now, I hope it's clear. S3, replication, lifecycle, events, and as well as what? Bucket policy. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show you something on EFS mounting, EBS value management, RDS. These all are storage related. Right? Is it clear now? Everyone? So tomorrow we'll continue with this. EFS, EBS and RDS theory. Then we'll do second time practicals. First theory. So now thank you for the class. We'll continue tomorrow on basically what? EFS, EBS and RDS. All are storage, but there's a kind of situation or there's a kind of requirement base you have to select it. Already I have given differences between what? S3, EBS and EFS. What is the purpose? Then RDS is new for you, but RDS we need to understand as a database engine services. So no question for me, online, offline. Thank you. So we'll see you tomorrow.